Hey guys, my name is Natalie and I just got back from a 2-month solo backpacking trip throughout Europe and I saw over 15 countries, which is crazy because before that trip, I literally just went to Canada and the United States of America and that was it. I vlogged the entire trip, so I will throw that playlist up here. If you are looking to plan your own 2-month solo backpacking trip through Europe as a solo female traveler or you're a male traveler, I'm here to help you plan the whole thing out. If you just look at the whole big picture, it's kind of overwhelming. So we're going to break it down step by step and I'll show you exactly how I did it. So step number 1 is to choose the countries that you want to go to, okay? And then write those out into an Excel spreadsheet. Don't hold back with this step, just write out everything that you want to see. If you just get your ideas out, then it'll be a lot easier to plan the whole thing. Step number 2 is to create a budget. Okay, so how much money are you comfortable with spending on your first solo backpacking journey? And then whenever you have that number written out inside of your Excel spreadsheet, what you need to do is multiply that number by 1.5. Odds are you're not accounting for a lot of different things that could go wrong. And so you need to have a little bit of a buffer on top of your budget. So once you have that new number, that is going to be your budget for this trip. Step number 3 is to choose how long you want to be backpacking throughout Europe. I thought 2 months was perfect because it was my first time traveling outside of the United States and being in Europe and besides Canada. So it was nice to dip my toes in the water and then see 15 countries at the same time. For me, I like going fast and seeing a lot. You do you, but choose how long you want to be there. Step number 4 is to reduce the number of countries that you have on your list to an appropriate mix of countries, okay? What I mean is you have to look at your list of countries. Say you're going to you want to go to 17 different countries. Just look at that list and realistically ask yourself, can I see that amount of countries in X amount of days? For me, what I did, I think I had 20 different countries that I wanted to see, and I knew I was only going to stay in each place for a day or two. So I figured visiting 15 countries was realistic for me. The idea with this whole planning process is get it all down on a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet and then reduce or remove the things that aren't really realistic. And remember that you can always go back to Europe. You can always plan a separate trip another time. So that's what I kept telling myself, and it gave me a peace of mind. Step number 5 is to now find your flights, okay? So choose the country that you want to fly into. If you have 5 different countries on your Excel spreadsheet, what you got to do is go into Google Flights and see what the prices are like, maybe a couple months down the road, maybe for next year, whenever you want to go, look at the prices. So what I did was I planned my entire trip out in December of 2022, and I knew I wanted to go in the summer of 2023. I just looked up every single country I wanted to go to, and I saw the cheapest flight was flying into Germany, into Berlin. That's what I chose, and I went from there. So that was my flying in point. And then I knew that I wanted to end in Sweden, and the flights were actually really cheap there as well. So I ended up buying my flight back from Stockholm, Sweden. What I would do is just look at each of your countries and then see what the cheapest flight is and then go from there. Okay, so for step number 6, you have to indicate how long you want to stay in each country. High level, decide how long you want to be in a country, and then we'll break it down from there. Next to each country, write out the number of days so it's very clear and organized. I'm a very visual person, so that was helpful when I was planning out my trip. Now, step number 7 is to find your accommodations. Now, this part was really stressful for me because this is when the prices really started to add up. I didn't want to do hostels. I wasn't sure if I'd be comfortable with them. I ended up doing one hostel in Vienna and it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. So I would prefer spending a little extra money to feel safe and comfortable staying in an Airbnb. That's my own personal preference. If you want to stay in hotels and that's your vibe, by all means, look at different hotels in each country. Find the accommodation, find the exact date that you want to stay there, find the price for let's say 3 days in Florence, and write that price, the total price, on the spreadsheet. Okay. Next to the city, you would add in the link for the Airbnb. To give you a peace of mind, you don't need to buy anything just yet. We're just trying to see what the total price is and where you need to kind of adjust your budget. Number 8 is to find transportation between cities and between countries. Start Googling if you want to take a train, if you want to take a plane, if you want to take a bus. I ended up taking a lot of Flixbuses through Europe, which was super convenient and nice. I never had a problem with them. They have a lot of different times throughout the day. So if you want to, do transportation in the morning, you can get to your destination midday and still have time to explore. That's exactly what I did. I felt very safe. You can also take the train if you're in Italy. The train system is like absolutely amazing. Eurostar is one of like the popular train systems that you can take throughout Europe and just do like a Eurostar Europe trip. I did not do that because I wanted to jump around a lot more than the stops that were available through Eurostar. I did end up taking Eurostar for one journey, which was convenient. Just go into Google. I would type in one city and then the next city of where I wanted to go to, and then it would give you the options like train or bus or whatever, and I would just go there. Or I would just go right to flixbus.com and then just find the bus route that I wanted to take. The buses are not bad and like super cheap. I went from Venice to Switzerland for like $20. It's very affordable to use Flixbus. That's what I did. Step number 9 is to look at your total price that you have now for every single day and see if you are comfortable with that total. This total should include all of your accommodations for every single day, all of your transportation for every single day, and your flight to Europe and your flight home from Europe. Okay. See what that price is and see if that is within your budget. Now, if it's not within your budget, see it where you can kind of pull some strings. Maybe don't do an Airbnb for one spot, maybe just do a hostel, or maybe you don't need to fly somewhere. Maybe you can take like a bus instead. This is when you can start to like play around with things and get creative. Or if you really need to, just don't spend as much time in Europe. Like just chop off a week or something and then you can save money that way. Step number 10, what you need to do is start booking. And I know this was like the most nerve-wracking part for me because I'm like, the moment I start booking, it's going to be like I'm locked in, What you can do is get insurance for each of your bookings. So like through flights and stuff, there's always like flight insurance. Same with Flixbus, they have that. Airbnb, I think you can pay for like air cover or something it's called. If that gives you a peace of mind, if you need to cancel maybe in the future, you have that option. I didn't. I just went full force and I was like, let's book. I'm not backing out. Like I'm ready. I did all the accommodation in one day and then I did all the transportation in one day. And then I had to take a day just to like digest and be like, okay, now I have to book it. Like this is real. I have to make this like a real life thing. When I finally gained the courage and strength to just go for it and take the risk, I just booked everything and I'm like, let's go. I was like ready to move. And trust me, it's going to be scary, but it's going to be so worth it. Step number 11 is now to choose all the different food places and maybe different like tourist spots you want to see, or maybe different hikes or different buildings or unique things you might have found on like Instagram or TikTok or different like travel blogs or things like that. And what I do is always go into Google Maps and I'll look up the food place or I'll look up the hiking trail and I'll put a star on it and I'll save it down into a list on my Google Map. My Google Maps is organized by country. Let's say I was going to Barcelona, Spain or something. So I would just go to Barcelona on my Google Maps and I would swipe through and I would see all the food places I saved, all of the hikes or tourist sites, churches, things like that I wanted to see. And then I could just quickly, like when I arrive in Barcelona, I just click on Barcelona and I could see all the stars, all the places I saved, and I could choose which ones I wanted to go to. A quick tip here I would say is don't plan every single day to a T. So it's like you wake up at this time and you're going to go to this place and you're going to eat at this place, and like have it so organized and like stringent that you have no flexibility at all, because there's going to be things that go wrong, like with transportation and money and just like arrivals, just like random things that you can't account for. So if you have a day planned out so tightly that all of a sudden one thing goes wrong and your entire day is messed up, you're going to be so stressed out and there's no reason to do that. And when you are exploring a new country, part of the excitement is just going in blind and just seeing what you see as you walk around and being like, I want to stop there, or I want to try that food, or let's go talk to this person. That's why I always just had stars on things, and I knew like the general area I wanted to go to, but I wasn't like, I need to do this and I need to do that. It was like, this is an option. I know like where what I'm walking into, but I don't have to do it, if that makes sense. And Step number 12 is to pack your bags. I did make another video on this, how to pack for a 2-month solo backpacking trip. I'll throw the link up here in the description box down below. Try to pack as little as you can, and trust me, it's okay to repeat outfits. You're gonna hold your entire life on your back. If it's super, super heavy, you're not gonna be happy. And as you're walking around very steep streets of like Italy and Lisbon, oh my God, Lisbon had really steep streets. You are not gonna be happy. You're gonna become a minimalist, I swear. Like, you should become one before you go. Step number 13 is to prepare yourself mentally. This was something that no one really told me, but I knew I needed to take like a couple of days just to like get in the swing of things, because like you're about to embark on a crazy adventure that you obviously have no idea what's going to happen, but it's scary. Like, if you're going by yourself, like, many things can go wrong, but also many things can go right. And you'll also learn who you are and experience such raw, beautiful, and authentic things on this trip that you're going to come back a new person. I guarantee it. The version of me that went to Europe and then the version of me that came back from Europe are completely different people, okay? It's not just like, oh, I went to Europe. It's you took care of yourself for 2 months in a country where no one really spoke English, and you had to get around, understand the transportation system, find your accommodation, you know, take care of yourself 100%. And if anything goes wrong, it's like you have your own back. So you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to be faced with a ton of challenges, but your problem solving skills are going to be top tier after this trip. I guarantee that. You're going to learn on a deeper level who you are. You need to take a couple of days mentally to ask yourself, like, why are you even going on this trip? Like, what are you trying to get out of this trip? I wanted to just challenge myself, like drop me in the middle of a random country. Can I survive? Like, that was kind of my mindset. And then also I wanted to inspire people to do the same thing. So I knew I wanted to vlog and edit a video every single day on my trip. And that was like my goal, because I wanted to inspire people to just jump out of their comfort zone and live life and just go after it, because why not? Every day when I was in Europe, I just kept reminding myself back to that thought. Okay, I'm doing this for this reason. I'm going to keep pushing. But the last step is number 14. Remember to have a good time, and also be open to making mistakes. Be open to running into different challenges and problems. Be open to talking to new people and jumping out of your comfort zone, because this trip is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity for you. And sometimes all you think about is like all the things that could go wrong, and you're freaking out about your schedule and like things that could be canceled, and you're just like, oh my God, there's a lot that can go wrong. Yes, but if you're only thinking about that, then they're probably going to go wrong 100%. But if you think about having fun, you think about like, this is a really amazing opportunity and I'm blessed and honored to be able to go on this trip, then your entire mindset shifts, and it's like you learn to have a good time. You know, I remember there were so many days where I was scared to death just traveling around by myself. I'm like, something bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna die. Oh my God. And then I had to like remind myself, I'm like, this is an amazing day. I'm literally walking in the streets of like La Spezia, Italy right now, and I could just go into this grocery store and get like the freshest gelato in the world, eat this gelato while looking at the sea. It's like you don't get days like that every day. And so just to appreciate it and remember, like, this is a fun thing you're about to do. It kind of helps you have a peace of mind and brings some like comfort to you, if that makes sense, because it's scary. The unknown is scary. Like, those are the 14 steps that I took. These are the 14 steps you can also take if you are planning your first solo backpacking trip through Europe. You got this. And if you have any other questions about preparing for your solo backpacking trip through Europe, I went to 15 different countries, so I'm sure I can help you out in some way. If you do have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. And if you want to see any other videos about preparing for your solo backpacking trip, or what to expect on your trip, or which countries to go to, or any different travel guides, definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I'm happy to help you guys out, because solo traveling really opens up your mind, and just traveling in general is a beautiful thing. And I can't wait to see the entire world. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.